Hi, friends. So, again, this is really just to review what you guys should know from the first week of school. So, it's really important to remember we discussed how to calculate the area of a square and a rectangle, and you should know how to calculate the area of a triangle. So, calculate the area of a triangle. Again, on all tests, I'll give you the formula, so I wouldn't stress about that. Um, so calculating the area of a square or a rectangle, we just said was simply the base, and I always think base bottom times the height. Height goes up and down, okay? So base times height. So we say B times H, and that's for rectangle or square. And then for triangle, it's really equals 1/2 base times height, or you can just simply put BH over 2, and that would be your formula. Okay, so we really just we did calculations of area, so that's for your area, and then we really discussed how to find all the factors of a number. And I want to make sure you remember the factor arcs, or they're called rainbow arcs. So as you can see, I shared my PowerPoint slide, which you guys have full access to. And so this one's asking you to create a factor rainbow for 36, okay? So when you think of 36, okay, they're showing you, again, we always say a number is, you can always multiply a number by 1, because any number multiplied by 1 is itself. So whenever you see a number, you know for sure the number 1 and itself are factors of that number. So we have 1 in 36. Really, when you're trying to find all the factors of a number, you're going to want a calculator, unless you know your multiplication tables really well. Okay, so you're going to want a calculator. And you're going to want to think about your divisibility rules. So I see 36 is an even number. So I know for a fact 2 is going to go into 36. Okay, then I'm going to take my calculator and see how many times does 2 go into 36. So you're just simply, again, I don't want you to do things in your head like Miss Fisher does. I want you to make sure you always have it correct. So you're just going to simply say 2 goes into 36. How many times? 18 times. Okay. So when you're creating a factor arc, this is more just like a visual representation to try to help you see. So I'm going to first have for 36, my number's 36. Okay. And I'm going to say 1, and I do this big arc to 36 to let you know 1 times 36. I don't know how. There we go. 1 times 36 gives you 36. Now we just figured out 2 times 18 gives you 36. So I'm going to do 2, and I'm going to put 18. Okay, then that shows you 2 times 18 gives you 36. Okay. Then I'm going to show you the next one. It's 3 times 12. Okay. So then you'll see 3 times 12 gives you 36. Okay. Then you do the next one, and you'll see 4 times 9 gives you 36. And then you see 6 times 6 gives you 36. So you're going to keep going into your calculator until you stop. Okay, how do I know when to stop? When the number goes back on itself. So since it was 6 times 6, I know that's when it ends. There's no more factors. Okay, or if a number repeats itself. So that repeats itself. I mean, if a number goes back, so if you had 4 times 3 and then it goes 3 times 4, then I know that's it. It stops. There's no more factors. So I'll show you an example of that one. Okay, so now if I asked you to create a list of all the factors of 36, okay, all the factors of 36, okay, remember, I want you to put them in numerical increase in order. Okay, numerical increase in order. So I'm going to say it's 1. So you're just going to look at that arc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, I'm running out of space, and 36. Okay, really important to not forget, when you are listing all the factors of a number, you never repeat a number. So even though 6 you see up there is twice, you only list 6 one time. On a quiz or assessment, if I ask you to list all the factors of a number, create a factor list, and you list 6 twice, I'd have to take off at least a half a point. Okay, you list it one time in numerical increase in order for me. Okay. Okay. So I want to do a couple more factor arcs just to make sure you understand how to do them. So hopefully we can get closer to me and this board, which I don't really know how to. There we go. So you don't really need to see me. You just need to see the board. There you go. Okay. So we're just really going to work factor arcs. That's what you need to know how to do. Okay, factor arcs, rainbow arcs, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, I just got a reminder for something. I apologize over that. Oh, my Lord. Okay, now, so say I want to do it for 24. So again, you always start, the lowest number goes on my left-hand side. My biggest number is going to go on to my right-hand side. So obviously my biggest number is going to be the number itself. My lowest number is always going to be 1 because any number times 1 is always itself. Then I'm going to think next number of 2. Okay, so then I draw my little arc because I know 1 times 24 equals 24. Now 2. 2, I know goes into 24 because 24 is an even number. So 2 times what equals 24? 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So 2 times 12 gives me 24. Okay, 2 times 12 gives me 24. Let's try 3. Divisibility rules, friends. Remember, if the two numbers add up to a number that's divisible by 3, then the whole number is divisible by 3. So what do I mean? If I did 2 plus 4, because that's 24, 2 plus 4 equals 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Yes. So that means 24 is divisible by 3. So how many times does 3 go into 24? 8 times. It goes in 8 whole times. Okay. Now, 4. Does 4 go into 24? It sure does. It goes in 6 times. Okay. And then 5. We know 5 can't go into 24 because of divisibility rules. For 5 to go into a number, the number needs to end in 5 or 0. Okay, and this is where I mean going back on itself. So then after 5 is 6. We already covered 6. So we know all the factors are listed. We can stop. We're all done. Okay, so now to create your factor list for 24, you would simply write them down as 1, a numerical increase in order. 1, 2. Sorry, that looks weird. 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. On a quiz, if you're missing a pair, it will be wrong. You need to list all of the factors. Okay? So just make sure a factor arc, a visual representation, a lot of times helps students find all the numbers. So you might want to practice doing this just to make sure you have all of the factors. Okay? So that is it for today. That is what we have learned so far for the first 2 weeks. Let me just review just a little bit. So they're for factors. So remember, just for, again, if I ask you to find the area, so we did factors and area. So if I said this was a square, okay, we'll make it nice and big so you can see. If I said this was a square, but I told you only this side was 2, and I said calculate the area, can you calculate the area? Absolutely, because the one thing you know about squares is all sides are equal. So remember, what did I say about that line? So if I put a line here, here, and here, that's telling you they're symmetrical. So that's telling you if this side's 2, this side's 2, this side's 2, and that side's 2. So again, area of a square, base times height. So it's 2 times 2 equals 4. We're going to put a unit behind it, centimeters, because I want to remind you, units are extremely important, and you do get points taken off on your exams if you don't have the correct unit. Area, unit, is always squared. So it would be centimeters squared. I'm going to stop the video because at this point the bell rung and I need to go. But hopefully you remember that. If it was perimeter, it's not squared. So it would have been 2, 2, 2. You add up all the sides. So I will have done 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. It would have just been 8 centimeters for your perimeter. So P equals 8 centimeters. Area equals 4 centimeters squared. All right. I'll see you Thursday and Friday. Have a great day, friends. Bye.